It's a beautiful day for baseball, and live from Salt River Fields in Scottsdale, Arizona, Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Colorado Rockies as the Dodgers get ready to play their 20th exhibition game of the season. Hi again, everybody. Charlie Steiner and Rick Monday. Few of us have ever really been able to relate to Clayton Kershaw and all that he has done, but on this day we can all relate. We know what it's like to go to the dentist's office. That day and the day after. Saw Clayton this morning, and he was talking like this, and he wanted to be anywhere but where he was. He's at the Dodger camp this afternoon, not feeling terribly well, but he will be fine in the long run. But what he did yesterday, taking one quite literally off the face, continued to pitch. It was an extraordinary performance.
And we hate to think of what could have happened. The good news is he comes out of it okay. Okay from the standpoint is that we were not in the dentist office. But for Clayton Kershaw, it takes the line drive off the side, the left side of his face. He continued after he was checked out medically, and he still was just scintillating in that ball game yesterday. Yes, he has a puffy cheek here today, but the Dodgers have to go forward, and quite frankly, the Dodgers now, as that finish line of spring training gets closer and closer, decisions have to be made.
Clayton has one less tooth than he did 24 hours ago. 24 hours ago, he had just celebrated his 27th birthday. Chad Gaudin is going for the Dodgers today. He'll probably go 40, 45 pitches.
40, 45 pitches, and for Gaudin, the fourth time that we've seen him, 3 other outings. His first start, he's been sensational. 4 innings of work, 7 strikeouts, has not walked a batter.
He'll be one of the swingmen perhaps this year, and this afternoon certainly a big audition. For the Dodgers today, we will also see Sergio Santos, Chris Hatcher, Mike Adams, and Dustin McGowan. Jhoulys Chacin will be going for the Rockies. In San Antonio this afternoon, so far, Zach Greinke's gone 4 innings, given up 3 hits. He has struck out 6, walked 1, and has not given up a run. Now a look ahead at what we'll be bringing you from Arizona tomorrow at 1:05. The Indians in Glendale. Then the Diamondbacks, Padres, White Sox, and the Giants on Friday. Back with the first pitch right after this. Juan Uribe on deck. So Jhoulys Chacín gives up the 2-run home run to Ethier here in the first. Now the 3-2 is lined into left field. But there is Kyle Parker to make the catch, and that will end the inning. 2 runs, 2 hits, the Ethier home run. Chad Gaudin coming out to pitch the bottom of the first. Dodgers 2-0. Game on Sportsnet LA. Take a look at your remote. It was broken. There was no sound coming out of your television set. Truth of the matter is, the problem was at our end. But thankfully, we are back as one, as Walt Weiss is sitting and getting ready to present this lineup for the Colorado Rockies on this Saturday afternoon. Drew Stubbs, Carlos Gonzalez, and Nolan Arenado. Matt McBride at first base in the cleanup spot. Michael McHenry is the catcher. Kyle Parker in left field. Nick Hundley, the designated hitter. Trevor Story is the second baseman. And a youngster named Emerson Jimenez is at shortstop. Troy Tulowitzki, a last-minute scratch. Of course, anytime he's scratched coming off the hip injury, questions abound. And Drew Stubbs takes a strike from Chad Gaudin. The 30-year-old right-hander, Bo, has been terrific this spring.
It's been terrific. Has not walked a batter. 7 strikeouts in 4 innings of work. First time that we've seen the right-hander in a start.
There is a call strike, and it's 0-2 to Stubbs. 8 out of 24 with a couple of home runs and 6 runs batted in. Gaudin certainly a veteran, and he can be that spot starter as Rick Honeycutt takes a good close look and missing. Call strike 3 outside corner. Nick Lentz, the home plate umpire. We have to learn his cadence back there. Stubbs takes a call, 3rd strike.
And for Gaudin, he went fishing the first pitch, got the outside corner, and then with 2 strikes said, hey, look, I got it the first strike. Let's try it the 3rd one. And Stubbs' afternoon has already been wrecked.
And now Carlos Gonzalez. Again, one of the elite players in the game when healthy. 6 for 16 this spring. And here comes the pitch from Gaudin. It's inside and low. 1 ball and no strike.
Gonzalez, the finger and the knee injuries last year. Career low 70 games, and just 15 of those were in the second half of the season.
1 ball, no strikes. Gaudin deals a strike on the outside corner, and it's 1-1.
Well, Gonzalez is healthy. He can do so much. Does it with the bat. He does it with the defense, including the arm, and a very good base runner.
He really is a 5-tool player. And it's 2 balls and a strike. In the on-deck circle is Nolan Arenado, Southern California product. Gaudin on 2-1, swing and a foul back. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Carlos Gonzalez.
Gaudin, watch the breaking ball. He's had a good one, at least at the outset. He's shown in the other 3 outings he's been able to control that, and the changeup. Talked briefly in the pregame show on the radio side about the changeup, how that sets up everything else and keeps some hitters honest.
Cargo on 2-2. Godin out of New Orleans, now lives in Nevada, missing just outside. 3-2. Chad Godin came up with the Rays in 2003. Then it was on to Oakland and the Cubs and the Yankees and the Padres, back to the Yankees, back to Oakland, Washington, Miami, and with the Giants in 2013. Now the pitch on the way, and Cargo fouls it back. Count is 3-2. So Godin is really a utility pitcher. He can be a spot starter for you, he can be a long man, and he can come in and get the job in an inning at a time.
So those guys ask him, well, how are you best suited? Well, what do you need?
Here's a 3-2. Gonzalez grounds to second base. Ranging to his right, Howie Kendrick picks it up, throws out Carlos Gonzalez. Cargo, 2 out.
Howie Kendrick, now that was not an extremely challenging play, but when you begin to analyze how well someone plays the ball, Howie Kendrick could have just taken the lazy man Saturday afternoon here in Arizona and say, well, I'm going to take a couple of steps, reach across my body. Oh, no, no, no. He took that extra shuffle step to get himself in front of the baseball.
Squared up, fundamentally sound, a really solid player. 31-year-old Howie Kendrick throws out Gonzalez, 2 out, nobody on, and here's Nolan Arenado. From the moment he arrived with the Rockies, he has become one of the elite third basemen in the game. Outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Gold Glove Award winner was Arenado in his rookie year, and that doesn't happen often. 1 ball, no strikes. Godin delivers a strike on the outside corner, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, he became just the 5th player to ever win Gold Gloves in the first 2 seasons at the major league level.
Born in Newport Beach, and takes inside. 2 balls and a strike.
The thing about Arenado, though, is it's rather surprising. Now, 18 home runs, that's not surprising. He has power. But 16 of the 18 were hit at home in very hitter-friendly Coors Field.
Godin misses high, and the count is now 3-1 to Nolan Arenado.
But the Rockies are not concerned about power of Arenado. He's going to be just fine.
Hit 287 last year. And now the 3-1 from Godin. His pop foul behind the plate and off to the right. Talk to LaTroy Hawkins, who is now 40-something years old in his 20th big league season. And he was talking about Arenado the other night. And he said, this guy can do everything, and he is going to be a major league star for years to come. Nolan Arenado, 6'2", 205, turns 24 next month. Godin on 3-2, and a fly ball into left field. Sun is a bit of an issue for Carl Crawford, but he's there to make the catch, and that will end the inning. A good inning for Chad Godin. Nothing across for the Rockies. Dodgers 2-0 as we go to the 2nd. squad, leading 2-0 as we go to the top half of the second inning. The other half, deep in the heart of Texas against the Rangers, leading Texas 6-0. Dodgers hitting in the top of the seventh there. Juan Uribe leads off and takes a strike. It's 0-1. Been a tough spring offensively for the veteran Uribe. Just 3 out of 25, 1 RBI. He really hasn't squared up on the ball much at all until now. Line drive base hit into left field. Maybe that'll get him going.
I realized he was listening to the broadcast.
One of the better swings. That easy.
And quite frankly, it was a more quiet swing. Uribe has been, as they say, swinging from the heels.
And now Chris Heisey, who's also struggled this spring, just 2 out of 25. That's an .080 average. One of the two hits a home run. And he swings and misses, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, Heisey's game is not pulling the ball, and he is pulling off the ball right now. Up the middle.
Looking down at third base coach Jose Vizcaíno. Vizzy is in the third base coaching box today here. There's a liner to left. Moving on over and toward the line and making the catch is Kyle Parker. Hit reasonably well by Heisey. It's the first out of the second. So Vizcaíno, the third base coach, Lorenzo Bundy with the other half of the team. They'll all get back together again tomorrow, and we'll be on the air at 1 o'clock. David Huff goes against the Cy Young Award winner Corey Kluber as the Indians come calling. Monday, Brandon McCarthy and Daniel Hudson with the Diamondbacks visiting the Dodgers. A.J. Ellis is the batter and takes a strike. It's 0-1. Ellis is 4 for 23, 1 home run and 5 runs batted in. Okoye Dixon is on deck. Chacín set at the chest. Here's the pitch. Swing. Miss. No balls and 2 strikes to A.J. Ellis.
A.J. struggled last year. Collectively, the Dodgers catchers again hit 188.
Well, with the addition of Yasmani Grandal, who's in San Antonio, and with A.J. Ellis, they feel like they've really fortified themselves. Pitch in the dirt blocked nicely by Michael McHenry, and the count is 1-2. Uribe at first base, having a conversation with Matt McBride. Dodgers 2-0 on the Ethier home run in the first. Godin retired the Rockies in order in the bottom half of the first. Godin's going to go about 40, 45 pitches or so. And Ellis fouls it off to the right and out of play.
Talk about Chacín. The Rockies really thought that last year he reported to spring training overweight. And if you just kind of carry that through, was that a leading cause or a contributing fact to the rotator cuff strain that he sustained later on? Well, he reported in much better shape this spring.
The 1-2 to Ellis, and he pops it up a million miles in the air in the middle of the diamond. And first baseman McBride on the first base side of the mound makes the catch for the second out.
A lot of players around baseball that have made the statements coming to spring training. Oh, I'm in the best shape of my life. Why does that come to us as a shock sometimes?
Just once I'd like to say, I ate too much. You never hear that.
The Rockies thought that about Chacín last year.
Chacín had his best season in 2013 when he went 14-10 and had an ERA just a shade under 3.5. Okoye Dixon has already been set out, but he has opened some eyes. He can hit, and he takes a strike. 0-1. This spring, he's 5 for 14, a couple of home runs, 3 RBIs, and a double. One of the young guns. There's a liner into right field. That's going to drop in for a base hit, and Uribe will hold at second base. So for Okoye Dixon, he's now 6 for 15 this spring.
He's actually hit the ball all over the place too. Very quiet stance. Doesn't overstride. Picks it up
that left foot, then puts it right back down. He has found a lot of open spots in the outfield with the bat.
The Dodgers have shown off a lot of young position players this spring. Through the years, of course, they've presented a lot of solid pitchers. But now, Seager, Peterson, Dixon, foul back, 0-1. Darnell Sweeney's been terrific. Scott Schebler. It's an exciting time with these new young players on their way. Jimmy Rollins fouls it back. No balls and a strike. 2 out, second inning. The Dodgers with a 2-0 lead, first and second. Chacin deals and Rollins takes inside. Struck out on 3 pitches in his first at bat. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, you mentioned exciting time. It is, I think, right now for the younger players, a chance to kind of show their wares. Don Mattingly saying to me this morning, said, "How are you holding up?" He goes, "Well, right now, this is the week of boredom for a lot of players, the veteran players."
Rollins takes up and in, 2-1.
Boredom from the same routine, and as opening day gets closer and closer, and I really think that next week, towards the middle of the week, now you're going to be beginning to see, well, a little adrenaline, because that carrot is going to be dangling a little bit closer in front of everybody's nose for opening day.
Uribe leads from second, Dixon from first. The 2-1 to Jimmy Rollins upcoming. Stepped out of the box briefly. Now he's back in. Chacin set at the chest. Here's his 31st pitch. And a swing and a foul tip. And the count is 2-2. The other Dodgers, deep in the heart of Texas, have scored 4 in the 8th, and they are really pounding the Rangers. It's 10-0 after beating them 11-6 last night. Most importantly in Texas, Greinke 4 shutout innings, struck out 6 and walked 1. Rollins swings and misses, struck out for the second time by Chacin. Dodgers no runs, 2 hits, they leave 2. We go to the bottom of the second, leading the Rockies 2-0. Weather has been spectacular since the Dodgers arrived here in Arizona, getting ready for opening day on the 6th. No team has more Cy Young Award winners than the Dodgers, and this season we're celebrating with the Cy Young Pin Collectors Series presented by 76. Pick up pin number 1 featuring Don Newcomb on Monday, April 13th. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Matt McBride, the first baseman, right-handed hitter, leading off against Chad Godin, the second. And he takes a ball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. So the Dodgers 2-0 here. 10-0 against the Rangers in San Antonio. Kike Hernandez has hit a home run. Turner's been red hot. He's hit one. Adrian Gonzalez hit one today. And Buck Britton has hit a home run. 1 ball and 1 strike to McBride. 9 for 29 with a home run, 5 runs batted in, and 4 doubles. So Godin on 1-1. Breaking ball popped up off the end of the bat. Retreating is Howie Kendrick in short center field. And the Dodgers second baseman makes the catch. First out of the second inning.
Godin just continues to work around the strike zone, not falling behind, and has not walked a batter. This is the 4th outing, the first start that he has had.
Now here comes Michael McHenry. So Godin, as we mentioned, is going to throw about 40, 45 pitches, I think. Then Sergio Santos, Chris Hatcher, Mike Adams, and Dustin McGowan before this day is done. McHenry, the one-time Pirate, 315 last year, and is 5 for 23 this spring. A couple of RBIs and a double. Kyle Parker is on deck. Godin, who stands on the first base side of the rubber, deals just low. And it's 2 balls, no strikes. So both teams are beginning to try to get some understanding about Nick Lentz, the home plate umpire. What's his zone? Fly ball, right field, sprinting toward the corner is Heisey, and he will make the catch. One-handed basket catch. A couple of feet fair. McHenry is out, 2 gone.
And that little low railing if you continue to go past the foul line. Little basket catch.
It's dangerous business.
Well, you're dealing with the sun and your sunglasses are resting comfortably on the bill of your cap.
But it's a good look. 2 out, nobody on, and Kyle Parker is the batter. Parker 10 out of 28, 1 RBI, 5 doubles, takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Two runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. Godin's retired the first 5 batters he's faced, and he misses outside. It's 1-1. Crawford, Van Slyke, and Heisey from left to right, straight away in the outfield as Godin misses way outside, kicks past Ellis to the backstop.
For Parker, out of Clemson. His dad, you might remember the name, Carl Parker, played for the Bengals a couple of years.
Foul back and out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes to Kyle Parker. Had 26 at-bats with the Rockies last year. Hit .92. At AAA Colorado Springs, he hit .289. 15 home runs, 72 runs batted in. The 2-2 on the way. Just outside, 3-2.
Parker also, while at Clemson, became the first athlete in NCAA history to have 20 touchdown passes and 20 home runs in the same academic season.
Here comes a 3-2. Call, strike 3. Godin is pitching like a seasoned veteran today. He has faced 6 batters. He has struck out 2, and it seems like he's been ahead of everybody. We will go to the 3rd. Dodgers 2-0. Carl Crawford will lead it off for the Dodgers as we go to the top of the third. A 2-0 lead, a 2-run home run for Andre Ethier in the first. Crawford, Kendrick, and Ethier to bat here in the third. Sold out at Salt River Fields on the outskirts of Scottsdale. This is about as far away from Glendale as the Dodgers have to travel for an exhibition game. Crawford takes low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. It's about 40 minutes from there to here. That's the farthest journey the Dodgers have to take. Crawford takes a strike, 2-1. Point that out because in the days at Vero Beach, 40 minutes was the closest journey, and that was from Vero to Port St. Lucie. Outside corner, missing. Crawford takes a walk, and a leadoff walk to Crawford. That's the first walk of the game given up by Holy Chassin.
There is a new wrinkle to traveling here in the Valley of the Sun now. It's called traffic.
Yeah.
We had a taste of it this morning.
And a taste of it on the way back yesterday. Now Crawford goes, first pitch is high, throw goes into center field, and Crawford will go to third. So Carl Crawford, more than capable of stealing a base, steals one, and McHenry airmails a throw into center.
Crawford not with what you considered a terrific jump, but boy, that was just a bad throw by McHenry. Put a string on that throw and you can sell it at the carnival.
Rockies bring the infield in. No balls and a strike to Kendrick, who takes a ball outside and low, and it's 1-1. Dodgers looking to extend their 2-0 lead. Crawford stole 23 bases last year. His career high was 60 back in 2009. Kendrick fouls it off to the right. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Howie Kendrick. So Rollins and Crawford, the 1-2 guys in the batting order, at least as of the 21st of March, both in their 30s and both capable of stealing 20 or more bases. There's a line drive base hit. Headed toward the wall. In to score easily is Crawford. And arriving at second base is Howie Kendrick, who is 2 for 2. Howie is now 13 for 30 this spring.
He jumps all over a 1-2 pitch, looked like a breaking ball. But he just stays back on it. It was almost like double clutching. And Chassin knew that he had made a mistake as far as the location of the pitch.
You know, we've watched Howie Kendrick over the years in the Freeway Series. There's no muss, no fuss. He's just an efficient, solid baseball player. Andre Ethier. His first home run of the spring in the first inning. Takes in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. Ethier, a couple of hits yesterday. And had a couple of hits on Thursday against the Angels. So Andre's bat is heating up. Chassin set about collarbone high with Kendrick leading off second base. Big rip. Ethier fouls it back. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
We pointed out yesterday that Andre Ethier had really a heck of a time last year with his right hand batting. He had gotten blood blisters. They had gotten infected, and it really hampered him throughout most of the season. Had the hand heavily taped. What it has done, as we noticed yesterday and pointed out, he chokes up on the bat all of the time now to alleviate the pressure for the most part. The knob of the bat does not come in contact with the lower part of the palm of the right hand, the bottom hand for a left-handed hitter.
Ethier on 2-1. Dribbles one to first. McBride's got it. Underhanded flip to Chassin covering.
Ethier is out, but Kendrick goes to third. First out of the third inning.
Get the runner over. Second base, nobody out. Get the runner over to third. Andre Ethier. And from hitter's standpoint, you'll take a shot at trying to get the base hit, maybe two. But then when you get a little bit deeper into the count, that's the point to shorten up on the stride and start thinking the team aspect.
Back to Ethier and the choking up as Van Slyke is the hitter, and he takes a strike, 0-1. Dodgers with a 3-0 lead. Kendrick is at third, and the Rockies bring the infield in. 5 years ago, remember he broke his pinky when he overlapped, when he used to bat with his hand all the way to the bottom of the knob. He overlapped it, and then the pinky broke on the swing.
And the little finger, the little pinky on the right hand was actually below the knob of the bat at the time. And during a swing, in fact, I asked him, it's okay, you broke it. Is that the first time it's ever happened? He goes, well, it's the first time it's ever broken. But it has happened before, which I felt a little strange. But he has changed totally the way he holds the bat now.
Van Slyke with the infield in, takes a breaking ball low, and the count is 1-1. If it hurts when you do this, don't do this. And so he is choked up maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches on the bat. Juan Uribe is on deck. Crawford led the inning off with a walk, stole second, went to third on an error, and Van Slyke with a fly ball to center field. Tagging and scoring easily will be Howie Kendrick for Scott Van Slyke. His 5th run batted into the spring. It's a second run to the third, and the Dodgers take a 4-0 lead.
Well, that's just the way you play baseball. After Kendrick knocks in Crawford with a double down the left field line, then Ethier gets the runner over after taking a swing and getting a chance to get the run batted in. But hits the ball to the right side. You advance the runner 90 feet away from home and score on a sacrifice fly.
Those were the things, frankly, the Dodgers didn't do enough of last year, in spite of the fact they won 94 games. Manufacture runs, hit the ball to the other side, get the sac fly when you need it. Uribe singled to left field in his first at-bat, and he takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Because if you take that same theme song and you continue it throughout the season, then if you get into the 8th and 9th inning, you're not looking at a situation where you have squandered opportunities in the first number of innings.
Uribe takes a ball outside, 2-1. Rangers have scored 3 in the bottom of the 8th against the Dodgers off Ramon Troncoso. And a little blooper down the right field line. It's a fair ball. It may not be the prettiest double in baseball history, but Uribe will happily take it. Little parachute shot that was slicing toward the line, and by the time it was tracked down against the sidewall, there was Uribe with his first extra base hit of the year, and he's got his second base hit of the day.
Yeah, 2 for 2 today. That's now 5 hits in 27 at bats.
Chris Heisey coming up. Heisey's just 2 for 26. Dodgers with a 4-0 lead. Heisey a home run and 3 runs batted in. Uribe leads from second. Chacin misses low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. It is just a spectacularly beautiful Saturday afternoon here in the desert. A.J. Ellis on deck, and Heisey takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Heisey wanted to walk out of the box. He did not agree with it, but with the pace of game, you're not allowed to walk away from the batter's box. There's a different mindset now to hitters.
No huffing and puffing.
No.
Ground ball, comebacker. Chacin underhanded toss to first, and that will end the inning. But the Dodgers score a couple of runs, leave 1, head to the bottom of the 3rd, lead the Rockies 4-0. batters so far. He's retired them all. He struck out 2. And mark your calendars for Wednesday, April the 8th, when the Dodgers host the Padres. First 40,000 fans in attendance will receive an adult replica pullover jacket presented by Bank of America. To secure your tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Mattingly was saying the other day, the only 2 guys who are assured of spots in the bullpen are Joel Peralta and J.P. Howell. So everybody is singing for their supper. They're auditioning, and so far on this day, in fact, so far this spring, Chad Gaudin's been terrific. He has struck out 9 so far this spring in 6 innings. And this afternoon, through 2 innings, just 29 pitches, 17 for strikes. First pitch of the 3rd to Nick Hundley, the one-time Padre, the designated hitter today. Takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Trevor Story is on deck. Emerson Jimenez after that. Fly ball to right, slicing foul and out of play, and into the Rocky bullpen, which is busy at the moment. Chacin, through 3 innings, 55 pitches, 37 for strikes. So one would think his shelf life is about done. Gaudin deals, and a fly ball to center field. Racing on back is Van Slyke. He can't get it. It bounces over the wall for a ground rule double. First hit given up by Gaudin.
Well, for Hundley, traded away from San Diego to Baltimore last year during the season. And the Padres had just kind of hoped that his power numbers might increase as his career went along, but not really the point. His career high has been 13.
Trevor Story, the second baseman for the Rockies today. DJ LeMahieu will be manning that spot. Story takes a strike, and it's 0-1. 7 for 25 with a home run and 3 runs batted in. LeMahieu, the tallest second baseman in the game, and maybe one of the most underrated. Gaudin delivers low and inside, blocked very nicely by A.J. Ellis. Shuffled his legs and kept the bouncer right in front of him. Working with Steve Yeager on a daily basis.
The mayor of Boomerville.
1 ball and 1 strike. And there's a fly ball, well hit to right center field. Van Slyke on his horse. He can't get it. And that one bounces off the wall. In to score is Hundley, and on his way to third base is Trevor Story. So Gaudin, who retired the first 6 batters he faced, here in the 3rd has given up a double and a triple. And the Rockies are on the board, 4-1 Dodgers.
And we also found out that Trevor Story can run rather well. Not the straightest of routes in center field by Scott Van Slyke, at least initially, but he had a long run to go. It's a big ballpark. 410 to straightaway center, 390 in the power alleys.
So it looks roughly like Coors Field. It's the power alleys that kill you at Coors Field. The Rockies last year, as usual, very good at home and were just god-awful on the road. They had the same home record as the Dodgers did, 45-36. But on the road, 21-60. Now Stan Conti is coming out to see about Chad Gaudin. Home plate umpire Nick Lentz is there along with A.J. Ellis. And here comes Don Mattingly. I have no idea what this is all about other than when you see the trainer out there and the manager coming out.
Ellis initially went out, then the home plate umpire, and it was the home plate umpire that looked into the Dodgers' third base dugout.
And Conti is working on the right arm forearm.
And Stancante just saying something to Don Mattingly. We better get a fresh horse. Hopefully it is just a cramp in the forearm or the wrist area is what it looked like.
So Godin, who pitched very well in the first 2 innings, faces 2 batters here in the 3rd, and his day is done. Walking off slowly toward the third base dugout along with Stan Conti.
Charlie, just as a thought, with a pitcher, I think more than anybody else, when you start to have something, again, we have no idea exactly what it was. It appeared to be in the lower part of the forearm or the wrist of his pitching hand. If that's going to take a few days, that upsets the apple cart, the timing of the pitcher. And from a pitching standpoint, you're beginning to get to that point in spring training where time is not your friend, because you're going to run out of time, especially if you're trying to impress and make an impression enough to where you're going to make the ball club.
And with all this competition in the bullpen. So Sergio Santos is coming in. He'll have as much time as he needs to get warm. Don Mattingly returns to the third base dugout, and we're going to take a break and come right back. To get warm. The pitching change is brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. There's fresh and there's In-N-Out Burger fresh. Always the highest quality ingredients, always made to order, never compromise it. In-N-Out, that's what a hamburger is all about. Why not stop in after the game? Now let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Dodgers Radio Network. Charlie Steiner and Rick Monday coming to you from Salt River Fields on the outskirts of Scottsdale, Arizona. Chad Godin, 2 very good innings, and then it all came undone here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. A Hundley double, ground rule double over the wall in center, a triple for Trevor Story, and then whether it was his forearm, his wrist, somewhere on the lower extremities of his right arm, came out. Stan Conti came to get him. Don Mattingly replaced him with Sergio Santos, who, by the way, has been very good this spring. He has really opened some eyes. Santos, this is his 6th appearance, 1 run, 3 hits in 5 innings, and he has struck out 8 batters. Dodgers also make a change in right field. A fellow named John Garcia, someone we have not yet seen. So So Santos apparently is finished warming up.
Well, Santos has seen action with the Blue Jays at the big league level. It's out of Bellflower. And he was the Diamondbacks' first-round pick, 2002, out of Mater Dei High School.
Has a great arm. Emerson Jimenez is the batter. From the left side. Lines one into left field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. So Santos, first pitch he throws. The youngster Jimenez singles to left. In to score is Story. And it's a 4-2 Dodger lead.
So much for taking a pitch and seeing what the new pitcher has. Jimenez commenced the hacking.
Drew Stubbs coming up. Took a called third strike in his first at bat. In San Antonio, the Dodgers 11-3 over the Rangers, batting in the ninth. Santos. This is high, 1 ball and no strikes. Another good offensive day for Justin Turner. Boy, he's had a great spring. Santos set at the chest. Jimenez leads from first. Throw over there, and he's back. Greinke pitched well today, 4 innings and struck out 6. Bunted in the air, foul and out of play, off to the right. Ellis gave chase, and it bounced right near the on-deck circle.
We'll talk about pitchers running out of time. Just seeing a story that moved across. Steven Strasburg was scratched from the start, sprained ankle. They do not believe it's anything serious.
Boy, that Nationals rotation 1 through 5 is something.
If they're healthy, there's going to be some anemic hitting against them.
Which is why they're considered the prohibitive favorite in the National League East. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Stubbs, who throughout his career struck out too much. Here's the 1-2. The runner was going, time was called. And Stubbs stepped out of the batter's box.
And Jimenez got a terrific jump.
Oh. One and two, nobody out, bottom of the third. Dodgers lead 4-2. Santos set at the chest. Here's the pitch. Stubbs take a call, strike 3. Well, Drew Stubbs, again, his rap sheet is that he strikes out too much, and he's been fanned twice today. Called third strikes both times.
And both times that he's been to home plate, Stubbs has not agreed with the interpretation of the strike zone. That's a strike. And I felt with Stubbs, the knowledge of the strike zone has been lacking.
He used to frustrate Dusty Baker in Cincinnati because he could do pretty near everything. He's got good power, runs well, terrific defender. Throw down to first base after Carlos Gonzalez takes a ball inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes.
I think your choice of word to frustrate was an excellent one.
Yeah, drove him crazy.
And even more than that.
There are other descriptions that we cannot share with our friends if we want to maintain our license. Gonzalez bounced to second in his first at bat. Quick toss to first base, and Santos nearly picks off the speedy Emerson Jimenez.
Jimenez with a considerable lead to begin with. By the way, that pickoff attempt by A.J. Ellis was a terrific throw, and it looks easier than it really is. To get the ball, you have a left-handed batter and throw it behind the batter. A good throw to first.
Now Gonzalez
And
takes
a balk.
outside. A balk is called by home plate umpire Nick Lentz and second base umpire Mike DeMuro.
No complete and discernible stop. Santos trying to shut down the running game a little bit more.
So just the threat of Santos's speed.
Well, that call is in the eye of the beholder.
One ball and no strikes. Santos now at third base still. As Gonzalez swings and foul tips it. And the count is 1-1.
2 innings.
So we'll try to get a report on Chad Gaudin, who threw 4 pitches in the third. Left forearm, wrist, something wasn't right. Stan Conti came out. So did Mattingly. Gaudin was done. Now here's Santos. Struggling a bit. First pitch he threw to Emerson Jimenez. He singled to left and drove home Trevor Story. So a couple of runs are in for the Rockies here in the bottom of the third. Santos delivers and Cargo grounds it up the middle. Backhanded by Kendrick. Jump throw is not going to be in time. Nice play by Kendrick to keep the ball in the infield and keep Jimenez from scoring. He advances to third. Gonzalez with an infield hit.
And a very smart play by Dixon at first base. For those that are watching on Sportsnet LA in this simulcast, Dixon comes off the bag, goes to the outfield side, rather than to stay on the bag and say, well, I'm going to try and look good over here on this side. So it saves the run. 2 different plays.
Dixon's still a work in progress at first base, but he's been a terrific hitter. And so too has Nolan Arenado, beginning his third season with the Rockies, and he drills one backhanded by Uribe, throws to first, and he gets Arenado. Terrific play by Juan Uribe. Bobbled it initially, but by keeping it in the infield, he keeps Jimenez at third base and from scoring.
Well, we really have 2 of the slick fielding third basemen in not only the National League Western Division, but in the National League period. And Uribe and Arenado, and the opposite ends of the same play.
Well, 2 years ago, when Arenado, the rookie, was awarded the Gold Glove, there was a legitimate debate that Uribe was every bit as good as Arenado that year, and maybe even better. Now the hitter is Matt McBride, the first baseman, and he takes a ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. He popped to second base in his first at bat. So it is safe to say that 2 of the better defensive third basemen in the game are on the field today. McBride popped to second in his first at bat. Runners at second and third, and a ground ball foul into the Dodger dugout down the third base line. And the count is 1-1 with 2 out. Dodgers with a 4-2 lead, second and third. 2 out, 2 in, bottom half of the third inning. Santos misses up and in. And the count is 2-1. Michael McHenry is on deck. Hundley a double, Story a triple, Jimenez a single. And a ground ball slowly hit to short. In comes Rollins. He fires to first, gets McBride by a half a step. That ends the inning. Nice play by Jimmy Rollins. But the Rockies come up with a couple of runs. 4 hits, leave 2. We'll go to the 4th. Dodgers 4, Rockies 2. Here at Salt River Fields, we're a third of the way through the game, and the Dodgers with a 4-2 lead. Ethier, a 2-run home run. In San Antonio, it's gone final, and the Dodgers routed the Rockies 11-3. Kike Hernandez a home run today. Adrian Gonzalez hit one. Justin Turner continues his hot hitting. Jock Peterson got another hit. And Zach Greinke, 4 shutout innings, striking out 6 in about an hour or 2 from now. Those Dodgers will be boarding the plane and should be arriving back in Glendale about 6 o'clock. A.J. Ellis leading off here in the 4th inning. Fouls it off, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. It'll be Ellis, Okoye Dixon, and Jimmy Rollins to bat. More of what you want is at Nissan now, and now's the best time to get great offers on their exciting full line. Shop ChooseNissan.com and your local Nissan store today. Hurry! Offers end soon. One ball and 2 strikes. Chacin, 3 pitches into the 4th. Into the wide. And Ellis, line drive, base hit into left field. Past a diving Emerson Jimenez. Jimenez, last minute addition to Walt Weiss's lineup today. Troy Tulowitzki with the afternoon off.
A.J. Ellis, some really good bat speed through the hitting area. A.J. has a hitch where the hands drop down, but trying to make sure that when the hands do drop down below the top of the strike zone, that you do lift them up right at the top of the strike zone before you start the stride and the swing.
A.J.'s 5th hit of the spring. Now Okoye Dixon takes a ball in the dirt, blocked by McHenry, can't find it, and by the time he does, off to second base, scampered A.J. Ellis. Wild pitch. One of those where McHenry blocked it. Then it went directly over his head, and he didn't know which way to go. By the time he was able to track it down, Ellis was at second base.
A.J. might want a copy of that section of the tape. Not that often is the word scampered used in the same sentence with A.J. Ellis.
Well, scamper he did. Runner at second base with 1 out in the 4th. Dodgers 4-2.
Lightning.
Well, that might be a reach, but
guys that don't run fast are running just as hard.
They just don't get there just as quick. Okoye Dixon, a single to right in his first at bat. Dixon is 6 for 15. A couple of home runs, 3 RBIs, and takes a walk. Okoye Dixon has been a very interesting player to watch offensively. Big, strong kid.
Walt Weiss is making his way out to the mound. He has already signaled to the bullpen.
And so Jhoulys Chacin's day is done. We'll tell you who's coming in to replace him when we come back. Rockies, right-hander Chad Bettis. Police Chassin went 3 1/3, and at this point, 4 runs and 7 hits. Struck out 2, walked 1, 62 pitches, 39 for strikes. And the right-hander Bettis, who spent a little bit of time with the Rockies last year, is now on in relief.
And he did a lot of backing up of bases in his 21 games that he was with the Rockies at the big league level. His ERA was over 9.
Kind of a cause and effect relationship. Backing up bases, high ERA.
Yeah.
May have been Alexander Cartwright or Abner Doubleday, one of them. May have been, may not. Jimmy Rollins with first and second. And nobody out. Bettis, first pitch, ground ball to first base. McBride throws to second, on to first. And a 3-6-1 double play. Very nicely turned by McBride to Jimenez. And the pitcher, Bettis, covering, 2 out. Ellis goes to third.
Well, the double play after the history lesson by Charlie. Holding up at first base was Dixon, and it was actually not a bad thing to do because he did not want to get tagged out by the first baseman, McBride. Well, the Rockies are playing some fundamentals as well. That'll make both managers happy.
Carl Crawford with a runner at third. Takes under the knees, 1 ball, no strikes. Bettis out of Lubbock, Texas. He'll turn 26 next month, a second-round pick of the Rockies back in 2010. Crawford has bounced to first, walked, stolen a base, and scored a run. Dodgers 4 runs and 7 hits. Rockies 2 runs, 4 hits, and an error. Howie Kendrick is on deck.
That was the big pitch for Bettis against left-handers. That's a changeup, but it looks like a splitter. It just dives for the ground.
Ellis leading off third. Crawford takes low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, the Rockies pitching change brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. No freezers, no microwaves, no heat waves, or heat lamps for that matter, ever. At In-N-Out Burger, when it comes to burgers, fries, and shakes, always fresh is the only way. Why not stop in after the game? As Crawford fouls off to the left. And the count is 2-2.
Something they had a lot of in Denver last year. Pitching changes. Really remarkable. 15 different starting pitchers were used. Work at least 1 game to start.
And not a whole lot of them were very good.
No. I mean, they were last in the majors. ERA of the starters 4.89. Slightly better the relievers 4.79.
3-2. Ellis leads from third, and Crawford strikes out swinging to end the 4th. No runs, a hit, a walk, and 1 man left. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Dodgers leading at 4-2. Mike Adams now on in relief. When right and when healthy, there aren't many better setup men in the game. Last year in 22 appearances with the Phillies, an ERA of just a shade over 2, and opponents hit .232 against him. But when he was with the Padres in 2008, 9, 10, and 11, and he was setting up for Luke Gregerson, it was lights out. So the Dodgers are hoping he can recapture what he once had. Michael McHenry leading it off here in the 4th, and he takes a strike. It is 0-1. McHenry flied to right in his first at-bat. Adams came up with the Brewers in 2004, then to San Diego, Texas, and Philadelphia. There's a strike. And it's 0-2.
Yeah, Adams slings the ball, extends the right arm back behind the shoulder, has a two-seam fastball that sinks. And if he's getting the ground ball, he's on his game.
His rotator cuff cost him most of June, all of July, and August in Philadelphia last year. In 2009, Adams, in 37 appearances with the Padres, had an ERA of less than 3/4 of a run. 2010, in 70 appearances, a 1 3/4 ERA. 2011, a 1.13 ERA. Missing inside. And is 1-2. McHenry, Parker, and Hundley batting for Walt Weiss's Colorado Rockies in the bottom of the 4th. Adams, the 3rd Dodger pitcher of the day. And the pitch to McHenry. Hit him. Well, if you're just joining us, we will update you a bit on Clayton Kershaw. Not only did McHenry take it on the hip, it ricocheted and knocked the mask off A.J. Ellis. Saw Kershaw today in the clubhouse. One of the things that most of us mere mortals have a difficult time in relating to Kershaw because of all the skills he has. In this instance, we all can. He looked this morning like he had been to the dentist's office, which he was last night until about 10:30. And you got a sense he just would rather have been in bed today. There's a line drive base hit into right field for Kyle Parker. McHenry on his way to 3rd. Throw high, throw to second base with the runner Parker seeing that throw missing the cutoff man. The Rockies have runners at 2nd and 3rd. New right fielder for the Dodgers, a youngster, John Garcia.
And John Garcia will get some tutoring. You cannot miss the cutoff man. That had a tremendous amount of hang time. So instead of 1st and 3rd, now it's 2nd and 3rd.
No human being could have reached that throw as the cutoff man. So it's 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. Nick Hundley coming up. So apparently Kershaw had a chipped tooth that had to come out, and they're putting a crown on or something. Anyway, he had dental work until 10:30 last night and wasn't feeling too good this morning. Hundley with 2nd and 3rd. Dodgers play the infield back, tried to check his swing, and it's a strike, 0-1. Hundley at one point used to catch for Mike Adams. Hyun-Jin Ryu is not going to throw for at least another day or two. And they'll take a look-see and see how his shoulder is progressing. Chad Gaudin comes out of the game today in 2+ innings, gave up 2 runs, 2 hits. First 6 batters he faced, struck out 2. In the 3rd inning, a double to Hundley, a triple to Story, and then Stanconi came out. They were looking at the lower right forearm, now whether it was the wrist but he came out in a hurry. Gaudin did. Too bad because he pitched very well. Hundley on 0-2 takes just outside and high, and it's 1-2. Dodgers 4 runs, 7 hits. Rockies 2 runs and 5 base hits. So Walt Weiss, the Rockies coming off just a brutal year last year. 30 games under 500. Adams takes inside. Or Hundley takes inside from Adams. So the Rockies have nowhere to go but up. It's the same old story every year. They're great at home and they can't get out of their own way on the road. Weiss, his 3rd season as the manager of the Rockies. The 2-2 is outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
They did not get off to a bad start. In fact, they were just 2 games out of first place. They, the Rockies, 6 games above 500. That was on the 20th of May. But then injuries followed, and they lost 76 of their final 106 games.
Finishing 30 games under 500, 28 behind the Dodgers. 3-2 to Hundley with Story on deck. Ground ball through into center field for a base hit. McHenry will score, and so will Parker. A 2 RBI single for Nick Hundley, and the Rockies have tied it at 4.
An extra run coming to belabor the point, but high throws miss cutoff man, and people advance 90 feet at the same process. By the way, folks, a reminder that for every Dodger home run, the Daniels Jewelers family donates $1,000 to local children's charities. Over $500,000 over the last 4 seasons. Daniels Jewelers, making diamond dreams come true since 1948.
So the Dodgers with 2 in the first, 2 in the 3rd. The Rockies with 2 in the 3rd and 2 here in the 4th. And we are tied at 4 as Trevor Story, right-handed hitting second baseman, steps in, swings and misses, and it's 0-1. How would you, if you were the general manager, the president, whatever, with the Rockies, how would you go about trying to make them a better road team, if at all? And the whole notion that so many runs are scored at Coors Field, where they are disproportionately good and conversely disproportionately bad on the road. And a fly ball to center field. Van Slyke's underneath it. Hundley goes halfway, retreats to first out of the 4th.
Charlie, they've been trying to figure that out. I don't know any solution. I think there's a couple of things. Do you address the size of your ballpark to begin with? They've tried to address the pitching staff. But if you're able to score runs, and again, they were 45 and 36 at home. Well, you're outscoring clubs in your own ballpark. But how do you lose 60 of the 81 games on the road, including 39 in the last 45? How much of it has become mindset? Because historically, the Rockies have been a different team at home versus on the road. Well, they don't hit as many as home runs, but then they're not really manufactured as a home run hitting club to begin with. Not now. When they had the Blake Streak Bombers when they first came into existence, a different story. They had some big bruisers in their lineup. But altitude does not affect speed.
Emerson Jimenez is the batter. The throw to first base, and back with a head first slide is Nick Hundley.
So if it's altitude that causes the earned run averages to be higher, and it does Don't you expect the earned run averages to be considerably lower on the road?
Adams deals, and Jimenez, big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. I've always felt that Coors Field is too big for its own good. There is so much space from power alley to power alley, as is the case here, as a matter of fact, at Salt River Fields. Ground ball to first. Dixon will take it by himself. Had a notion of throwing to second base. Took the easy way for the second out. Huntley goes to second base. It'll bring up Drew Stubbs. And this notion that it's a mile high, which of course it is, they thought, well, there'd be too many home runs hit. But it's not so much the home runs that change the way the game is played in Colorado. It's power alley to power alley, and so when their defenders are playing deep, singles will drop in, and when they play shallow, then you've got the doubles and triples that'll kill you. So again, part of the charm when they first built Coors Field, about 20 years ago now, was that there'd be a lot of home runs. Well, the home runs are part of the issue, but it's that the doubles and triples there, and so there are more hits. And how do you then gauge a pitcher's ERA there? And you see guys with, hitting 100 points or more better at home than they are on the road. No balls and a strike to Stubbs, who swings and misses, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of talk as well as if you're analyzing pitches at higher altitude, and pilots will understand this, density, altitude. The curveball is not as sharp normally at higher altitude than it is at, say, sea level.
0-2 to Stubbs, who's already struck out twice today, as Adams misses high and away, 1 ball.
The reason I bring that up is I've heard some guys talking about from a hitting standpoint is that, look, you don't have to worry about the breaking ball as much. The slider, yes, it's a power pitch. The changeup, yes, that can be a good pitch regardless of the altitude, but you're not having to hit the sharp breaking curveballs as often up there. So is it the breaking ball that's causing the hitters more problems for the Rockies on the road?
On 1-2, Stubbs strikes out swinging. 3rd time he's gone down on strikes. Boy, that has been his MO through his entire career. Struck out 3 times so far today. Adams gives up a couple of runs, couple of hits, leaves 1, and will go to the 5th, tied at 4. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is now available. Join the millions of subscribers and watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit MLB.tv for details. Howie Kendrick leads off for the Dodgers in the 5th. And he takes a strike, 0-1, a single, a double, and 2 runs scored today for Kendrick. He's also knocked in 1. Kendrick with a fly ball, straightaway center field. Cruising on in is Stubbs to make the catch. First out of the 5th. Bettis beginning his 2nd inning of relief.
Getting to that question about the Rockies' disparity at home versus on the road. They have talked and talked and talked. Do you want to structure a team that's based around speed from an offensive standpoint? Do you want the hit and run type of guys to take advantage of a lot of square footage in the ballpark up in Denver? If you hit the ball, it's going to go. The altitude, in spite of what the humidor has done to equal things out.
Andre Ethier takes a ball inside and low, 1 ball, no strikes.
But they have attempted to sign pitchers, and I think some of the pitchers, quite frankly, at least on the outside looking in over the years, somewhat surprising. You're going to sign a fly ball pitcher?
Ethier swings and misses, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
In a ballpark that half of your games, fly ball can be your enemy because how far it travels.
Remember, they signed Denny Nagel and Mike Hampton. And Hampton got a boatload of dough from the Rockies. That was 10, 15 years ago. Call strike to Ethier. 1 and 2. And they asked, well, why did you come to Denver? Without saying they offered him considerably more money than everybody else. They said, we really like the public school system here. What?
Mm-hmm.
That was, you look a couple. Come on.
And with the contract he got, they were not looking at the public school system anyway.
Here's Ethier taking outside, 3 and 2. He could have bought a school for himself. But Hampton was a terrific pitcher, but not there. Nagel was a terrific pitcher, but not there. 3 and 2 to Ethier with 1 out. And Andre takes outside ball 4. Last 3 days, Ethier has just looked much more comfortable at bat. Works out the walk. He hit a 2-run home run in the 1st.
Not trying to pull everything, and I think the stance also, his approach has kind of quieted down from a physical standpoint. Not in a hurry to hit the ball.
As you pointed out earlier in the game, he's choking up now. Cause and effect, who knows, but last 3 days he's been. There's a high fly ball into left field. Van Slyke just got underneath it. Fighting the sun is Kyle Parker to make the catch.
For those also may be wondering, what's the big deal if you're choking up on the bat at all versus if you're down on the end of the knob with your little finger over the knob or even up against it? Well, most hitters will tell you that you get a better balance on the bat. Therefore, you have better bat control if you are indeed choking up a little bit. And there are those that believe that some hitters are using bats that, quite frankly, are a little bit too big or too long for them.
Juan Uribe with Ethier at first, 2 out, 4-4 tied, top half of the 5th. Bettis deals and a swing and foul back, and it's 0-1.
You know, as a hitter, you can pick up, say you order a dozen bats, and you get those bats in, and you spend some time either early in the afternoon or late after a game, and you'll go through the dozen. You want to pick out which ones have good wood, and surprisingly enough, they're not all the same. Some you say, hey, this is good quality, I'll use this for a game, or the other ones are batting practice because they're not as good a grain. But you can pick up a bat, and you're making your living with the lumber, and you can tell if it's a half an ounce heavier or lighter than what it's supposed to be, because you order them by length and you try and order them by weight, but some are not really within the specifications of what you had requested.
Uribe 2 for 2, fouls it off to the right and out of play, and the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 5th, a 4-4 tie.
But here's another thing to ponder, and I brought this up to somebody a couple of weeks ago. Hitting is so much about thought, right? Now here it are, you fail 7 out of 10 times, and it's 300 average, and you go ahead and you take that. Well, From a hitting standpoint, you're always trying to think, be quick through the zone, including how you perceive the bat.
Toss to first base. Ethier back standing up.
And here's what I mean by it. We talk in ounces with bats, right? 32 ounces, 33 ounces. Have you ever heard a hitter say, I swing a 2-pound bat? No, you think lighter. Which is lighter, bricks, 2 pounds of bricks, or 2 pounds of feathers? If you ask a hitter, it's going to be the 2 pounds of feathers, because you are thinking in a light mode. So it's always referred to as ounces. I have never heard a hitter, myself included, refer, I swing a 2-pound, 2-ounce bat.
And 3 feet long.
Yeah, because oh my goodness, no, ounces. Oh, it's lighter.
1-2 to Uribe. 2 out in the 5th. Bettis set at the belt. Ethier leads from first. Pitch is just low. And it's 2-2. The art or the trend of choking up is really of a day gone by. Of course, one notable exception was Barry Bonds over the years. 1-2 to Uribe. He fouls it over the Dodger dugout, skips into the stands.
The guys that are down on the end of the bat, a little finger wrapped over the, are normally not the guys that are crowding home plate, because they want the ball out away from
them. 1-2. Chad Bettis, a second Rocky pitcher of the day, delivers. And there's a looper into left field for a base hit. Ethier will hold at second. So Uribe finally beginning to warm up. He came into the game with 3 hits all spring. He is 3 for 3 this afternoon. First and second, 2 out.
Uribe, the third hit. The first hit was hit hard. The next 2, it's a good thing he's not fishing, because he'd have to worry about the game warden coming over and measuring the fish and see if it was legal.
He'll take him. This is John Garcia coming up. And it's the first time we've seen him. From Puerto Rico. 28 at bats in Chattanooga last year, 192 in Rancho. He's 24, 5'11", 175. No balls and a strike, 2 out, 2 on, top half of the 5th. Bettis set at the belt, and Garcia swings and misses. That's a big long swing for a little fella. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. 4-4 tie in the 5th. Garcia takes outside and low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He took over in right field last inning for Chris Heisen. Heisey was 0 for 2, and Chris continues to struggle this spring, 2 for 27. Pitch on the way, Garcia. Fly ball into right field. Cargo is there, shades his eyes from the sun, makes the catch, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. After 4.5, 4-4. New pitcher for the Dodgers, veteran Dustin McGowan. He also looking to hook on. Before the day today, or before the game today, Mattingly talking to the assembled multitudes in his in the press room, said that there are really two guys who have locked in spots in the bullpen. J.P. Howell and Joel Peralta. Everybody else is trying to prove themselves. Carlos Gonzalez leads off and McGowan delivers. Fouled off to the left and it's 0-1. We were talking about hitters and the feeling of the grain, the balance of the bat, the weight of the bat, the length of the bat, and how minute the differences are, but you know what feels right and what doesn't. Which brings us to Chad Gaudin, who started today. McGowan misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Retired the first 6 batters he faced, struck out 2. First 2 batters he faced in the third, Hundley a double to center and Story a triple to center. And a breaking ball to Carlos Gonzalez is inside. 2-1. But he didn't feel right. And so Stan Conti came out, Don Mattingly came out, and he said he just kind of felt a twinge in the lower portion of the right arm, and came out of the game, and apparently it is, whatever it was, subsided. They don't think it's particularly serious, and so for precautionary reasons, here it is. It's the 21st of March, came out of the game. So that's what we know about Chad Gaudin's premature departure. 2-2 to Gonzalez. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, it's actually a good thing that you pay attention. If something feels a little weird, there's no reason to rush it. J.P. Howell was saying the same thing. He had not really pulled a growing muscle, but he felt it wasn't quite right.
High fly ball into short left center field, drops in front of an incoming Carl Crawford. So Gonzalez with a bloop single to left to lead off the 5th off McGowan.
It's Chevy Truck Month, where you can get great offers on the Silverado and the all-new Chevy Colorado, the 2015 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Now, Chevy trucks, high-strength steel for high-strength dependability, only at your local SoCal Chevy dealer.
Well, the Dodgers will have a day off on Tuesday. Everybody except Brett Anderson, who is scheduled to throw, and so he's going to have to show up for work. Pitch in the dirt, gets past A.J. Ellis. Carlos Gonzalez going to third, and he is out. It was a high rebound off the backstop, and Gonzalez got a little greedy for his own good. You got a sense that A.J. Ellis was listening to the crowd and the oohs and ahs as Gonzalez rounded second. He got the rebound and made a perfect throw to Uribe, and Gonzalez is gunned down at third.
Yeah, Gonzalez hesitated around second base, and as good as that play was, that fundamentally it was not a good reception by A.J. Ellis. Yes, it was a bad pitch, a terrible pitch in front of home plate. But A.J. turned his side to it and tried to backhand the ball that was in the middle of his body. Well, that's something that my pregame guest, the mayor of Boomerville, Steve Yeager, who is present, he made the road trip. That's something that they will discuss. And again, it's not pointing something out. Oh, you made a mistake. It's a learning process, even for the veterans.
Nolan Arenado checks his swing and fouls it off to the right. The count is 2-1. But watching that play unfold and watching Ellis, he began to turn and look toward third as the crowd was beginning to make some noise as Gonzalez was going to third base.
Crowd may have been a pretty good scouting report for A.J. to realize, hey, there's a play coming up.
And he threw a perfect strike. Nolan Arenado fouls it just off to our right.
We don't know who's in that booth to our right. We cannot see. It's a solid wall. But whoever it was just got booed. They clanged it.
Oh, about what? 7-8 feet from us.
I wonder if it could have been. No, they're not doing the broadcast today.
On 2-2, Arenado takes a ball in the dirt, but he went around. Strike 3. Tried to check his swing, punched out by home plate umpire Nick Lentz. McGowan's first strikeout, 2 out, and nobody on.
Yeah, had we been playing the Diamondbacks here today, we would have immediately thought, well, it must have been Tom Candiotti who boxed that play. But Candiotti would not have reached out to try and catch it to begin with.
You know, it still could have been Candiotti by. The Candyman can. 2 out, nobody on, and Matt McBride coming up. Dodgers and Rockies tied at 4. And McBride swings and misses. It's 0-1. In San Antonio today, the Dodgers pounded out 17 base hits against the Texas Rangers and routed them 11-3. Last night they beat them 11-6. So the Dodgers' business trip to San Antonio resulted in 22 runs and 31 hits. And they're due to get back into Glendale in about 3 hours, having flexed their muscles. Greinke, 4 innings, no runs, 3 hits. Nicasio, 2 innings and struck out 4. Statistically, Nicasio's best outing. And the ball upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Matt McBride. Hey, Josh Raven struck out the side in the 9th. Hard throwing right-hander. Let's take a look at their Dodger box score from San Antonio today. Kike Hernandez 1 for 4. Scored 2, hit a home run. Justin Turner just continues to hit everything in sight. 2 for 3 today and a home run. Yasiel Puig 0 for 2. Adrian Gonzalez 2 for 3 and a home run, couple of RBIs. McGowan delivers low and inside. Now 3-2 to Matt McBride. Alex Guerrero 0 for 3. Jock Peterson 1 for 2. Peterson at the moment is hitting a meager 472. Three and 2 to McBride, 2 out. Ground ball backhanded at third by Uribe. The long throw is a strike. McBride is retired. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We'll go to the 6th. Dodgers and Rockies tied at 4. Out to pitch his third inning of relief. Oli Chassin pitched 3 1/3, 4 runs, and 7 hits. Now, if you got into your car when the game began this afternoon, you could have listened to us and already be at the Chumash Casino Resort, located in the beautiful Santa Barbara wine country 2 hours north of L.A. For more information, visit chumashcasino.com. A.J. Ellis will lead it off, to be followed by Okoye Dixon. And then Jimmy Rollins. And we're tied at 4. The Dodgers 8 hits and the Rockies 7. And we will be back with you tomorrow at 1. From Glendale, David Huff, proud new papa, against Corey Kluber, the Indians' opening day starter and Cy Young Award winner. A.J. Ellis takes inside, and the count is 2-1. On Monday, Brandon McCarthy and Daniel Hudson, the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks in Glendale. Ellis pops it into short right field, and the second baseman Trevor Story is there to make the catch. First out of the 6. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Dodgers Radio Network. Charlie Steiner, Rick Monday on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, outskirts of Scottsdale. We're at Salt River Fields, the Talking Stick Hotel, Casino, and Resort, wonderful property. Dixon flies to center, and Stubbs is there, and quickly there's 2 out and nobody on. And Jimmy Rollins is coming up. Rollins has struck out twice and bounced into a double play. 11 for 34 this spring. Switch hitter batting from the left side. Takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
Couple of changes defensively. Langfells has taken over at third base for Arenado, and Tapia is now in right field for Gonzalez.
And a ball outside. That would be Jason Langfells at third base. Nolan Arenado's day is done. Bettis deals, and a fly ball into left field. Heading on back and making the catch is Kyle Parker. And that's going to do it. The Dodgers go in order in the 6th after 5.5. 4-4 with the Rockies. The Dodgers make some changes here. And Dustin McGowan to pitch his second inning. And you can still guarantee your seat for opening day. Many plans are still available that include opening day, all 10 bobbleheads, firework nights, 4th of July, a Father's Day barbecue set, and of course a Tommy Lasorda garden gnome. And what garden wouldn't be complete without one? And many more great promotions you won't want to miss this summer. Visit Dodgers.com/mini plans. Michael McHenry leads off in the 6th. We're tied at 4. McHenry 0 for 1. Hit by a pitch and scored a run. McHenry swings and misses. And it's 0-2. So the Dodgers have a bunch of changes, and some of these fellas, unless you're family members, I guarantee you haven't heard of them before. Second baseman is Adam Law. Daniel Mayor is at shortstop. He played the other day. And Paul Happy Haneke is the third baseman.
Oh, but we have more.
Oh, good.
Robbie Garvey is in left field, and Devon Ahart has taken over in center.
Robbie Garvey. Okay. And now McGowan deals, and McHenry swings and misses. So it's the second strikeout for McGowan, and it's the first out of the 6th.
Well, McGowan, after the leadoff single to Gonzalez, it was thrown out trying to advance on a wild pitch, thrown out to great throw by A.J. Ellis to third. He has struck out 2 of the next 3 batters that he's faced.
Now, who'd you say the center fielder is?
Devon Ahart.
Uh-huh. Ahart. And John Garcia is in right. And A.J. Ellis is still behind the plate. Kyle Parker 1 for 2, a double and a run scored. We're tied at 4 in the bottom half of the 6th. So McGowan on 1-1. And a short right, sprinting out is Law. Can't quite reach it. Made a diving attempt. Well aware that John Garcia was on his way in. And so there is 1 out and 1 on for the Rockies in the bottom of the 6th. Nick Hundley is 2 for 2, a single, a double, a run scored, a couple of RBIs. 4-4 tie, 1 on, 1 out, bottom of the 6th. McGowan, the 4th Dodger pitcher of the day, a fastball low and inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Some news and notes from around Major League Baseball on this Saturday afternoon as we get closer and closer to opening day. Matt Wieters, great young catcher of the Orioles, had the Tommy John surgery, Buck Showalter says today. Unlikely to start the season. A fastball up and in, and Hundley has to get out of the way. 2 balls and no strikes. Noticed the other day that Scott Boras was trying to plead Wieters' case. Well, let him DH maybe. Dixon, 1 hopper to him, throws to second on to first, and a double play. Nick Hundley hit a screaming 1 hopper to Koye Dixon, who threw to short. Daniel Mayor Mayora right back to Dixon. So a nicely turned double play by a couple of youngsters. New pitcher for the Rockies is Chris Rusin. Picked up off waivers from the Cubs. Made 4 relief appearances for Chicago last year and had a 7.11 ERA. And the first batter that he's facing is Robbie Garvey. Rusin delivers and Garvey tries to bunt and foul tips it. At A ball last year, 229. First time we're seeing him. So he is batting where Carl Crawford hit earlier. Garvey fouls it back. It's 1-2. We're in the top of the 7th. And if you're not in the stadium, you can bring home the taste of the Dodgers' world famous Chef Burrito loaded nachos by driving to Ralph's and buying Chef Burrito's carne asada seasoning. Garvey takes low. And it's 1-2. Rusin into the wine and Garvey, chopper to short, throw to first, out by a half a step. Garvey listed at 5'8" and 165.
And he can scamper.
He can run, but I think 5'8" and 165 is probably generous. So there's one out. And this is Adam Law. I fought the law and the law won. So we are seeing fellas that we've just never seen before. Law, 6 feet, 193 from Utah. Played at BYU. 12th round pick in 2013. Hit 273 at Rancho last year. And he skies to left. Where Parker is there to make the catch, and there's 2 out. Now Andre Ethier, well, we know him. A 2-run home run in his first at-bat. He's bounced out, and he has also walked.
He's also had better at-bats so far this spring against left-handed pitching. And that was an area that, if you look at the last number of years, he has struggled more and more against lefties. But what I've noticed is he's made a conscious effort to try and go up the middle. That breaking ball away is what gives you problems if you're trying to pull it.
Well, he tried to pull it, and he grounds it foul up the first base line, 0-1. Ethier with his first home run of the spring in the first inning. It was a 2-run shot. Has 7 runs batted in. Takes up and in. Too much up and too much in. Gets hit by the pitch. So he's got a home run, a walk, and a hit by pitch.
And a bruise. Tailing fastball. He was not about to give up on it. In case it was a slider going to go away, but it just kept coming in and in.
And this is Devin Ahart. Ethier's day is done. And Ethier gets a good hand.
Lars Anderson pitches, pinch running for Ethier.
So we're getting a first look see at a lot of young Dodgers today. And this is Darren Ahart taking a strike. Devin Ahart. Mattingly's getting a first look at many of these kids. Ahart tried to check his swing, foul tipped it into the glove of the new Rockies catcher.
And somebody's getting writer's cramps writing the names of the different players in the lineup card in the dugouts.
You think they're immune to it? So are we.
Ahart, this is just his second year of professional baseball. Out of the Motor City.
Chopper to first, rolls foul. Tied at 4 in the top half of the 7th inning.
The other thing I know about Ahart, talking about from the Motor City, he can motor. He played last year after he signed. He played a total of 64 games. He stole 19 bases.
Now can he get on base enough? Put that speed to work. Low and outside. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And the 2 stops, Ahart also hit combined 344, hit 304 at Great Lakes, and then at Ogden hit 358.
Rusin on 2-2, and Ahart takes high and away 3-2.
Ahart also signed out of Akron University.
He's 22. 16th round pick last year. And he chops it slowly to first. Oh, can he run? The ball was chopped right to the first baseman, McBride. He had an easy play, but just watching the young kid bust out of the batter's box. Okay, You know he can run now. No runs, no hits, one man left. 7th inning stretch. Dodgers and Rockies are tied at 4. The Dodgers is Barry Enright. If the name sounds familiar, Dodgers have seen him before. Had a couple of cups of coffee with the Diamondbacks in 2010 and 11. Made 3 appearances with the Angels in 2012 and 4 appearances in 2013. Right-hander is going to be 29 next week. And he misses. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Now, for both clubs, it's just a matter of show and tell, with lots of kids out there trying to show their stuff to their front office. But with time now, we can review the news of the day. Beginning in the morning when Clayton Kershaw arrived at work after having hours of dental work done last night. He took that comebacker off the face, off the bat of Andy Perino, and continued pitching. Backhanded at shortstop. And there'll be no play. Daniel Mayora goes deep in the hole, and Coy Dixon keeps the ball in front of him. And we've all been to the dentist's office. None of us like it. And Kershaw was no exception. He left the dentist's office with 1 less tooth than when he walked in. And the other tooth is going to need a crown. Anyway. Seeing him for just a minute this morning. All of us can relate to how he felt today. But that's what made yesterday's performance all the more remarkable. He got up after being hit in the face in the 3rd inning and went 2 more innings and gave up 1 base hit. Bunt up the first base line and fielded at 3rd by Paul Henneke. Now here's David Dahl. Sack 5-3. Well, we found out something about Kershaw yesterday. Among all his other attributes, he can take a punch. One out, one on in the bottom half of the seventh. The Dodger rookies and the Rockies rookies are tied at 4. Barry Enright delivers low. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
The Dodgers with 6 ties already.
They've got more ties.
Quite frankly, should have had one yesterday, too.
Yeah. Well, the Dodgers draw well, 13,126. And this is a new record for the new Salt River Fields. Yeah, just looking into Kershaw's face this morning. He was talking like the morning after a bad night at the dentist's office. At one time or another, we've all been there. None of us could throw 93, 94 miles an hour and throw a curveball like that. But today, he was utterly relatable, and you couldn't help but feel awful for him. And as everybody knows, he's such a fierce competitor, and he's the first one out.
Probably a couple of hitters that had curveballs thrown to him yesterday that were rather pleased that he underwent some level of discomfort.
Oh, come.
That's the way it rolls out, pal.
Yeah, I guess. But, you know, I was going to say, here's a guy who works out feverishly. He runs. He's the first guy out there. Today, so, you know, I don't know I'm going to do anything. You know, who could blame him? 2 out. And Tapia is the batter, and he taps one into right center field for a base hit as the Rockies take the lead. Raimel Tapia gets a pat on the back. And the Rockies lead for the first time.
The way Tapia ran down that first base bag and made a very aggressive turn. Be on the lookout for him taking off and running at first base.
Dodgers have a new catcher. They like him. His name is Kyle Farmer. I think he is fundamentally sound behind the plate. And Farmer watches one go out to deep center field, and it is high off the batter's eye. And in to score is Tapia. Langerfels is the guy who drilled it, and now the Rockies have a 6-4 lead.
Well, there's a padded wall that you would normally see go around the stadium to begin with, 8 foot high, right at the 410 mark. Well, it hit above the padded wall. It hit on the back wall, but the ground rules here, it's in play.
They keep tagging Enright like this. He's going to need a room with padded wall. Colorado 6-4. And Matt McBride, who started the day at first base, still out there. And McBride is 0 for 3. Colorado 6 runs and 11 hits, and the Dodgers 4 runs and 8. Brandon League's shoulders beginning to feel better. He's been throwing lightly the last day or two. He'll get on the mound in the next few days, according to Don Mattingly. And Jin Ryu spent Most of the day in the trainer's room with his left shoulder still an issue. He's not going to pick up a ball for another day or so. But the Dodgers are not overly concerned about it. Enright delivers a call, strike 3. McBride is done. So are the Rockies, who come up with a couple of runs in the 7th. Will go to the 8th and lead the Dodgers 6-4. One of the fans is wearing an old Brock umbrella. Lou Brock came up with this idea, 100 years ago, to put a little headband and then attach a little umbrella over the headband. And so I'm not sure why, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. And Henneke leads off for the Dodgers here in the 8th inning. Paul Henneke with a single to right. Nobody had a better name for it than a Brockabella. That was an oops trade, huh? Ernie Broglio?
But you consider that Broglio was coming off of a very good season, and Lou Brock, a young player, could not find playing time.
Mm-hmm. Once he found it, that's where it went into the oops category. John Garcia is batting now. Right-handed hitting outfielder. One on, nobody out. And the ball inside.
Well, if a team has not been haunted by a trade, stay tuned. They will. Eventually. There is a guy by the name of Roberto Clemente who is under control by the Dodgers.
Rule 5. Ground ball to second base at a 4-6-3 double play. 2 out. And the Mets traded Nolan Ryan. Oops. Now Kyle Farmer with a fly ball into right center field, and it's tracked down by Raimel Tapia. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Rockies 6-4. New pitcher for the Dodgers, a right-hander, Daniel Tillman. This is the first time we have seen him.
Just watching Tillman warm up. He was an Angels second-round pick 2010 out of Florida Southern. But he is the prototypical power type of a pitcher. Just watching him. Good fastball, good hard slider, and just warming up. And he was at Rancho Cucamonga last year in 36 games.
So again, we're getting to see a lot of these fellas for the first time. And the hitter for the Rockies now, Perez. Righty against righty. Tillman deals. Fastball inside.
Tillman indeed has some pretty good velocity. He's been clocked in the mid to occasionally upper 90s.
Biting slider, swing and a miss, 1-2. And the 1-2 on the way. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Hello.
Yeah, that's a power breaking ball right there. And got Perez. See you later.
So we'll put that in the back of our memory bank. Daniel Tillman. Hey, Toyota's One for Everyone sales event is now on at your Toyota dealer. It's the perfect time to get a great deal on the rugged 2015 Tundra with its standard backup camera and its 5.7-liter V8 engine. See your SoCal Toyota dealer today. And a broken bat base hit for Dylan Thomas.
Fortunately, everybody appears to be okay in the stands. A broken bat just helicoptering into the stands and bouncing around.
One of our favorite baseball people. We're talking about one-sided deals. The late Jim Fregosi passed away a couple of years ago. He was the other half of the Nolan Ryan trade. Ryan went to the Angels. And Jim had a great career. He's a terrific scout, manager. He was a quintessential baseball guy. Runner goes. Throw down to second base, and it's a little bit high. So stolen base.
Another excellent jump. You know, Farmer made that play relatively close. It's down at second base with a strong throw. Good footwork.
Well, they like Farmer's fundamentals. High chopper slowly hit to third. Barehanded stab and a throw to first. Nicely done by Paul Henneke, who's also got a base hit today. 2 out and nobody on. Now here's Cesar Galvez. So we're all watching these folks for the first time. Daniel Tillman is a Floridian. Pitched at Florida Southern at Rancho last year. 36 relief appearances. A record of 2-1. Second round pick of the Angels 5 years ago. 0-1 into center field, and that's going to be tracked down by Devin Ahart. We'll go to the ninth. Rockies 6-4. Pitcher for Colorado. And this afternoon's Chumash Casino Resort ninth inning jackpot contestant, Annette Benninger. If the Dodgers come from behind and win, Annette will win a free stay and play getaway at Chumash Casino Resort, located 2 hours north of LA in the Santa Barbara wine country. Annette will get a free night stay plus $100 in free slot play. Enter to win by going to am570radio.com. Koye Dixon leading it off for the Dodgers. He's got a hit, a walk, and he flied to center field today. So Dixon has played the entire game. And he lines it right into the glove of Jason Langfels. One pitch, one out in the ninth. Earlier today down in San Antonio, the Dodgers walloped the Rangers 11-3. And so in their 72-hour trip to Texas, actually about 48-hour trip to Texas, Dodgers came up with 22 runs and 31 hits and played errorless baseball. Daniel Mayor is the hitter, and he fouls it off to the right.
Left-hander Friedrich, he was a #1 pick, what, about 3 years ago? So he is high on the list. He saw some action last year at the big league level.
Fair ball up the first base line. And Daniel Mayor is on his way to second base. And he'll make it. So a one-out double for the young infielder. Jock Peterson went 3 for 4 last night, had another hit today. And Jock is hitting .472. Puig with a couple of hits and a home run, 3 RBIs last night. 0 for 2 today. And a walk. Kike Hernandez, 1 for 4 today. 1 for 3 yesterday. Robbie Garvey Pops to short left. Fighting the sun, Pat Valaika just inserted into the game. Makes the catch over the shoulder with 2 out. Zach Greinke today. 4 shutout innings, struck out 6, walked 1. So a successful business trip for half the Dodger team. Adam Law is the batter with 2 out in the 9th inning. Rockies 6-4. Law has to jump rope out of the way, pitched down around the ankles, and it is 1 ball, no strikes. 6 runs, 12 hits, and an error for the Rockies. 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. Andre Ethier, a 2-run home run in the 1st inning today. Bounced out, walked, and hit by a pitch. Last 3 games, Ethier has been much better at the plate. Call, strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Howie Kendrick, single, a double, an RBI, and 2 runs scored today. He also stole a base. A slow chopper. Going to be a tough play. Throw to first, not in time. So, congratulations to Adam Law with his first hit in a Dodger uniform. Didn't go very far, but he got a hit.
Doesn't have to go real far when he run pretty well, just past the pitcher.
Jason Langfell's the 3rd baseman. Made the play all in one motion, but Law beat the throw. Lars Anderson, left-handed hitting first baseman by and large, but in the DH spot now, his first at-bat of the day, having taken over for Andre Ethier. Back with you tomorrow on the radio, pregame 12:30. Simulcast at 1, first pitch at 5 after 1 as the Indians visit the Dodgers back at Camelback. 1st and 3rd, 2 out. Anderson takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Larry Walker, one of the great hitters of his generation, in a Rocky uniform, sitting alongside Walt Weiss. Anderson takes a strike, and it's 0-2. Oh, could he hit? No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Friedrich deals. Anderson takes just low and outside. 1-2. Devin Ahart in the on-deck circle really rooting for Lars Anderson so he can get one more crack at it before the day's done. Friedrich on 1-2, fouled off to the left and out of play. So all in all, a pretty good weekend for the Dodgers. As Anderson fouls it off to the left and out of play. Rockies 6, Dodgers 4, 1-2, 1st and 3rd, 2 out, bottom of the 9th. Friedrich, the lefty, to the left-handed hitting Lars Anderson. High chop, easy play at 3rd, throws to 1st, game is over. And the Rockies have beaten the Dodgers 6-4. For the Rockies, 6 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. They left 5 men on base. For the Dodgers, 4 runs, 11 hits, no errors. They left 9. Chris Rusin won it. Barry Enright lost it, and Christian